I have decided to try the BBB&E challenge, where I only eat beef, butter, bacon and eggs. And I always like to meal prep, especially if I'm trying something new, so it makes it a lot easier for me to stick to the new plan. So I'm just going to make some beef patties with some salt and pepper and fry them on my pan, and I'm going to freeze most of them, so it's really easy just to grab a few and have them for my breakfast or lunch or dinner, whenever I want to eat it. I wanted to try this because I have such a hard time losing weight, even though I'm eating keto or carnivore. I thought that I should really try to be strict. So I would cut out any dairy, any sweeteners, anything that's not beef, butter, bacon and eggs. I'm frying the patties in some tallow, so that's also carnivore. So I got all of my patties fried up, and I'm also going to soft boil some eggs in my Instant Pot. But before I start the challenge, I'm going to weigh in, and my weight right now is 145.1 kilo. So that is where I'm starting. The eggs are going into my Instant Pot, and I'm only boiling them for 1 minute because that's giving me some soft boiled eggs, and that's how I like them the best. And then when they're finished, I will cool them down immediately. I'm also trying to not drink any coffees or teas or anything like that, so I'm going to have some bone broth with some of the tallow in it, and I'm just heating this up in the microwave. And I'm just giving it a mix so that the last fat will break up into the liquid. And of course I've tried bone broth a lot of times, but yeah, it's not my favorite. If you think of it as a substitute for coffee or tea, you won't like it, but I try to think of it just as something nourishing and healthy for me. So I ate most of that meal prep, and then I decided to be even more strict. So I am also making some pork patties and some more beef patties, and I will not use any spices at all. I'm only using salt. So I watched a lot of YouTube videos with carnivore and how that you have to really cut out anything, not only to lose weight but to also feel better. And that is 50% of why I'm doing this. I'm putting in some of my duck eggs. I'm in a lot of pain all of the time, and I have a lot of inflammation, so I'm really trying to get better, feel better, and I'm trying to eliminate all of the things that could maybe cause some of that pain and inflammation. So that's why I'm going even more strict now. So I'm only eating meat, eggs, butter, tallow, any other kind of animal fat. I'm eating salt and drinking water. So that's all. Of course, I'm still having broth, that's also carnivore, but I'm not having any dairy, cheese, anything like that. The only kind of dairy thing is butter, but there's no lactose in that, and it's really clean. So I'm trying this for a few weeks, and I will let you know how it goes. In this video I have the 2 first days of me eating like this, and in the end I will show you from chronometer what exactly I've been eating and the macros and so on. I will also show you each meal, what I'm eating for every single day. And in the next couple of videos you will get the rest of the days and my final weighings and so on. Well, from these 2 weeks. I don't know how long I will do this for. It depends on the results, both the weight and of course how I'm feeling. If it helps me with my pain or my energy and so on. I'm trying to eat really high fat. Of course I'm going to have meat and the protein that are required for my height and weight and so on. But the rest of my calories and my energy will come from fat, and that's only animal fats. I also have 2 pounds of minced beef, and I'm also just putting some salt into that and making that into beef patties. And I will fry them pretty well because that's how I like my meat the most. I really find meal prepping one of the best ways to succeed in a new diet or with weight loss or anything like that, because you don't have to think, you don't have to plan, you don't have to do a lot of cooking every day. You can just do it once and eat for months, or at least weeks. So these are all of my patties that are done now. The back ones are the pork patties and the front is the beef. I also have this big package of bacon that I got from a butcher, and there's a lot of nice good fat in there, and I'm going to cut this out into smaller pieces. I'm removing the skin from the top because that gets really tough when you're frying it. So I cut some of it into cubes. That is the skin that would go into the air fryer, and then some bacon strips that I'm just frying. So it's easy to have this in the fridge and just take a piece every once in a while when I'm hungry. So that was all of the prep. Now we are on to the first day where the challenge begins. So I am heating up some more bone broth, and I'm putting in some tallow again just to get enough fat and calories, and so that it is satisfying and it will keep me full for a while. I'm again mixing it up, and today I'm also adding some eggs. I have this bottle of whole eggs, so I will just mix it while I'm pouring in the eggs. So I think that it will be about 1 or 2 eggs that I will put in here, and it's already kind of cooked, so there's no salmonella or anything in it, so it doesn't have to be heated up a lot, and I'm also not afraid of that anyway. So I'm going to try it, and it's kind of really mild tasting because it's just bone broth with some eggs and a little salt, so it only tastes a little of the salt. And then I'm going into town today to run some errands, so I'm just taking some of these meat patties with me. And in town I'm going for a walk with Holly as always. We have this little lake inside of the town, really close to the center, and I'm always going for a walk here. There's a lot of smells for Holly, and there are geese and ducks that we can look at. And one round around the lake is just about 1 kilometer. So you can always go more rounds, or you can go some bigger rounds, and on the other side of the road there's also a lake where you can walk to. So this is what I always do when I'm in town with Holly. And back from the walk, I'm just sitting in my car and eating these pork patties. I'm just here at the parking lot, and I'm a little red in my head because we went for that walk and it's a little cold and windy outside. But it's always nice to get outside and go for a walk. And she's back there in her kennel. Back home again. A little later I'm going to have one of the beef patties with a slab of butter and some of the bacon. And well, it's not my favorite, but it gets the job done, so that's nice, I guess. And even later on in the day, I'm going to make something called egg milk. So I'm just putting some butter in my blender and I'm pouring on boiling water, and then afterwards I will put in some of the eggs and mix it all together. I'm also putting in some electrolytes just to make sure that I'm not lacking in any electrolytes, because I was really feeling it this first day. I had a lot of headache and the next day it was even worse. So that's just how it is when you're trying something new, even though that I was also eating keto before this. And I think some of it is also because I didn't have any coffee at all during these weeks. So I'm just pouring this mixture into a mug and I'm going to drink it, and it's really creamy and warm and nice, but there's not a lot of flavor. Doesn't really taste of anything, but it's nice, warm and fluffy. Normally I would put this kind of milk into my coffee, but as I'm not drinking any coffee right now, I just had the milk like this. And for my dinner I had some drumsticks and some leftover pork belly. Later on I had some pork rinds. And this is the next day, where I'm all having one of those beef patties with some butter and bacon again. And of course Holly wants to taste it, but I will go for a walk with her instead. This is the last day of February and it's really windy and wet and grey weather today. That's how it usually is in Denmark in this time of year. But we are really looking forward to March, where the spring can finally begin. And back home I had some scrambled eggs with some butter, and in the evening for my dinner I had some more bone broth that I boiled in a pot, and I put in some eggs so they would just get slightly boiled. And I just threw in 3 or 4 eggs I think, and I also had one of these drumsticks. So that was all that I had for these first 2 days of the BBB and E challenge. And now I'm going to show you all of my macros and so on Chronometer. So the first day I was really hungry and I had more than 3,300 calories, and accordingly to my watch I was burning about 3,200, so I had just a little more than I burned off. And here you can see all of the things and how much protein, fat and carbs I had. And that second day I felt even worse than the first day, so I only ate about 1,900 calories and I burned about 3,000. So I was in a big deficit that second day. But if you want to follow along and see how I'm doing on this challenge and how much weight I can lose and what I'm going to eat the next couple of days, please subscribe so you can get the notifications when I'm uploading a new video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.